Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing an empire video, but the country today will be Italy. The first thing we're going to be seeing here is Italy quickly and swiftly going into San Marino and kicking San Marino out of San Marino because San Marino. Now, they will invade into, Slovenia. Because they have a big empire. No, they don't have a big empire. But they want to, so they do that. They quickly push into Slovenia. And all that really needs to be said is they take out all of Slovenia. And what they do is they annex the entirety of Slovenia, taking all of their territory. Now, what happens next is they will declare war on Croatia and Bosnia at the same time, with help actually from Serbia here. Serbia will start a push into eastern Bosnia, as well as this eastern tip of Croatia, pushing into both regions, as Italy swiftly takes out this thing and quickly pushes up into northern Croatia, taking out a lot of this territory and splitting Croatia in half. Italy and Serbian forces combine to take that over, and Croatia will surrender the same time that happens. Now, Serbia will push into this way, Italy will push this way, and Bosnia will agree to surrender. So Italy takes most of this chunk over here, and they also take some of Bosnia, but mostly this land from Croatia. Serbia will take the eastern part of Bosnia and some land from Croatia. And Italy's going to be forming a defensive and sometimes offensive, not offensive, alliance with Serbia, Hungary, Bulgaria, not Turkey, Turkey. And, wow, what a shocker, Germany. And this can color in. If this will color, I'm going to touch someone. Okay. If this can, okay. Finally! So what we're going to be seeing here now is Italy and Germany are going to be invading into Austria. And Austria's like, oh wait, we're cooked. So Italy starts automatically, immediately invading, splitting the country into two and going after this eastern side, as Germany rushes its troops over into this panhandle area of Austria, taking down all of it and starting to push more into this part. It will cause them to surrender after losing most of their land. Taking a look at the peace treaty, Germany will take this, and Italy will take this out of Austria, which kind of pisses off Europe, because they're like, oh no, Germany expanded, completely ignoring Italy's large expansion, and seeing Germany's very, very tiny expansion. I wonder what would cause them to do that. Now we're going to be seeing a defensive alliance form here with France, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg only joins, of course, so they don't die. And then all these countries here. Nope, none of the Balkans. They feel like they're totally safe from Italy. Yep, totally safe. They're totally safe from Italy, guys. My phone just fell. That's lovely. Now Serbia quickly annexes all of Kosovo, which kind of pisses off the rest of the alliance because they feel like Kosovo should be a country, but whatever. Some of the countries do, some of them don't, but whatever. Albania's landed in, so is Montenegro, and they're cut off from the rest of the countries. And they're completely annexed. Taking over the peace treaty, Italy will take Albania and western of North Macedonia. Serbia will take Montenegro, Kosovo, and Bulgaria will take the eastern part of North Macedonia, but they'll take most of North Macedonia. Anyways, what we see happening here now is this entire alliance will be declaring a war. This entire alliance will be declaring a war on the nation of Poland, Slovakia, and Czechia, which brings France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands into this war. Now, I know, this war is going to be great. It'll probably end in 3 weeks, maybe 2, maybe a few months, but we don't know. Now, it's time for Germany and Italy to start invading. So what Italy and Germany do is they declare war and invade into Slovakia, which completely catches Slovakia off guard since they did not think they would be invaded because of their alliance. But clearly they thought wrong, as they are now being invaded. Their capital is already taken, and they end up surrendering as their capital is taken. Now, with Czechia, it's going to be a little different because their capital is kind of like not really right next to the border. But they start flooding in from the border of Slovakia, which kind of makes this look like Czechoslovakia, but it really isn't. And they start pushing into the west, taking the coastline of the coastline of Czechia, taking the border of Czechia with Poland and Italy, and trying to form a spear. And they do so, and they surrender Czechia. Now, Poland is in kind of a bad spot here, because Russia and Belarus hop into the war while being at war with Ukraine, by the way. So, with this Ukraine war, they start a massive, large invasion of Ukraine. Which basically, they just end their war with Ukraine because they don't really need to fight the war. But what they really are focused on here is Poland, which they actually succeed on invading, which is kind of pissing off the rest of... Well, by the way, NATO does not exist, so don't go to the comments and be like, where's NATO? NATO would never allow this. But they push forward, even getting to Warsaw. And, well, it's just in time for Poland to be split now, is it? The Germans start to push up into Poland to try to meet on a front up with the Russians and continue to partition Poland with the Russians. They eventually continue partitioning Poland with the Russians, and Poland just fucking dies. Poland is dead. We don't care, though. Germany, on the other hand, does kind of care, because they're happy. But now they start their push into the lowland countries, going into Belgium and taking out Luxembourg. Eventually they meet up their two front lines, and they kill both of the countries. They capitulate both of the countries. Nobody got killed, okay, guys? No promises, but nobody got killed. Germany invades into Alsace-Lorraine, as well as pushing in through Belgium. They invade France through Belgium with the help of Italian troops down over here, who eventually push up along the border with Switzerland, because Switzerland's an annoying little idiot, who they eventually decide it's not worth fighting this war anymore, but they still want to fight it to get land, so they continue fighting the war. They eventually meet up here in this area, and they make a spear for Paris. they eventually do take Paris over, and this entire northern area of France just capitulates, which kind of makes it harder for them to start invading into France, as the troops are actually fighting harder and even harder now, and some of them are even pushing the Germans back to try to retake Paris, but that doesn't really matter since the Germans kind of cut off France's ocean access, and France is kind of dead, and they surrender. Taking a look at this peace treaty, Belarus and Russia will annex some of Poland, as well will Germany. Germany will annex Czechia, Hungary will annex Slovakia, Italy will annex this big chunk of France over here. Germany will take all this stuff. But I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.